Welcome back to Close Up. Right after the primary, we did our first of what will be many interviews with Joyce Craig and Kelly Ayotte, reflecting on the primary and touching on some key issues heading towards November 5th. Mayor Craig, congratulations on the big primary win. This was a hard-fought contest. What work needs to be done to sort of bury the hatchet with Cindy Warmington and move on towards unity in November?
Yeah, so I am grateful for the call from Cindy Warmington last evening. We had a good conversation, and we will be working together to make sure we win in November. There's a lot on the line this election. Public education, reproductive freedom, making sure we're building the affordable housing that we need in the state of New Hampshire so that our young people and seniors can afford to live here. I have the experience in doing these things in the city of Manchester and really look forward to working with people in our state so that we can make this progress throughout New Hampshire.
You mentioned some key issues. What is going to define this race against Kelly Ayotte?
You know, we can't trust Kelly Ayotte. She is clearly saying anything and doing anything to get elected. We need to focus on her record and her votes. She has voted multiple times for a national abortion ban. She has voted multiple times to defund Planned Parenthood. She celebrated when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Now she's trying to shy away from her record, but we know the truth, and people in New Hampshire know the truth. She's saying anything to get elected because she can't stand by her record. I will always fight for residents of New Hampshire and make sure we're doing everything we can to ensure that they succeed.
She's already been attacking your record here in Manchester, as your primary opponents did too. What's your message to people who, look at what's gone on in Manchester and say, gosh, there's some bad with the good, and they don't want to hear just sort of the everything is awesome routine?
Yeah, you know what? It's really interesting. Kelly Ayotte had her celebration party last night right on Elm Street. Manchester's so bad, but she was here celebrating. Interesting. We have a vibrant community. We have our challenges. We've been tackling those challenges. There's still a lot more work to do, which is one of the reasons why I'm running for governor. Communities throughout our state are facing the same challenges as the city of Manchester, and we need a governor who will recognize that and work with our local communities to address them. But just getting back to Manchester, we have an emerging biomanufacturing industry that is booming in our mill yard. We have a vibrant downtown, a growing arts and cultural center here, and a wonderful community who embraces everything that we are as a state. And so, I'm proud of my hometown and the work that I did as mayor with our community to lift residents up, and we'll do the same thing as governor.
Obviously, this is a presidential election year. You're going to be on the ticket with Kamala Harris. Should voters view you as being in step with the top of your ticket?
Listen, I am so grateful for the Biden-Harris administration and all they did for the city of Manchester and our state. I can just look to the federal grants that we received, bringing 7,000 new jobs in, $24 million for infrastructure, another $19 million for a transportation hub. I look forward to working with our federal delegation and President hopefully Kamala Harris, to make sure we are delivering for residents in New Hampshire.
State education policy, what changes will you make? And it seems obvious you'll be choosing a new commissioner, but
Absolutely.
When the time has come, right, but what changes do you make?
Yeah, so I signed on to the Conval lawsuit as mayor. Public education is a priority of mine. I first got involved in public service when I ran for school board. So as having experience as well as writing a budget, my priority will be funding public education. You mentioned the education commissioner. That is a day one priority for me. We need a commissioner of education who understands and appreciates public education. I'll also be advocating at the federal level to ensure that our state is receiving the funds that we should be receiving when it comes to special education, because that's not happening right now. And when we do fund public education to the level we should be, our communities, our cities and towns will see a decrease in downshifting on their property taxes, and that's really important.
All right, Mayor Craig, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Senator Ayotte, congratulations on the primary victory. Now you've got to turn the page to the general election, but any concerns, even though this was a resounding victory for you, that you need to reach out to some of Senator Morse's supporters to fully unify the party?
We had a very strong victory last night, and we built a very strong grassroots campaign. Chuck graciously called me last night. I respect him, I appreciate him, and he's pledged his support. So we're unified as a party and really focused on November, because this election is so important for New Hampshire, and a very stark contrast of keeping New Hampshire on the path that Governor Sununu has had us on and keeping New Hampshire strong, or taking us down another path, the path of Massachusetts with higher taxes, higher crime, sanctuary cities. That's not what's right for New Hampshire.
Senator, what is going to define this race? You touched on some of those issues already, but what defines this race?
I think what defines this race is really, if you look, Joyce Craig failed Manchester, and this is about strong leadership. This is about making sure that we protect our New Hampshire tax advantage. When she was mayor of Manchester, she proposed tax increases. She overrode the tax cap. We need to make sure that we don't pass on taxes to hardworking New Hampshire families and protect our economic advantage. This is about keeping the state safe. As a former chief law enforcement officer, having the support of law enforcement, making sure that we don't have sanctuary cities, making sure that fentanyl dealers face tougher penalties than they're facing now, and also our housing crisis, like working with the private sector and with local officials and the state to make sure that we can increase the supply so people can afford to live here.
You know, you've drawn that contrast on Manchester. We were talking to Mayor Craig, and she said, hey, she had her election night party in Manchester on Tuesday. You know, like that's some kind of, hypocrisy from your side.
I was really glad to support a Manchester business that suffered under Joyce Craig's failed leadership. I mean, with the homelessness, with the runaway drugs, with the instances of violent crime. And Manchester elected a new mayor who's working so hard to deliver a brighter future for that proud city. And I look forward to partnering with Mayor Rue as governor of New Hampshire because, I have a long history with Manchester as well. I stood with Manchester in one of its most difficult times when they lost a police officer in the line of duty. I'm very proud of the police there and that city, and I know that working with the new mayor, we can work together to improve Manchester.
Obviously, there's a presidential race going on, too. Should voters see you as being in step with the top of your ticket, Donald Trump?
I'm focused very much on New Hampshire, and we think about the choice in this race. It's such an important election, deciding whether we want to stay on the path that Governor Sununu has put us on. I'm very proud to have Governor Sununu's support, or really go down the Massachusetts path, which I don't think is right for New Hampshire. Higher taxes, higher crime, thinking about sanctuary cities. That's not the right policy. So this race is really about New Hampshire and who do New Hampshire voters want to elect in November to really keep our state on that strong path that Governor Sununu has had us on. And that's where I want to keep us and make sure we take on our challenges like housing.
And on the issue of education, obviously this is going to be a point of contention between you and Mayor Craig. What are you going to do on that issue, and will you be keeping the Commissioner of Education, Frank Edelblut, in place when it's time to renominate? Mayor Craig says she won't keep it.
So Adam, my husband actually teaches middle school math now, so education's really important to me, and I know that our kids are behind in math and English and science and core subjects, and it comes down to teachers. So as governor, I'm going to be supporting our teachers and also those core curriculum, making sure that our standards are high so that we aren't passing kids along, but they're really learning the skills they need to succeed and have the best education system in the country. In terms of who would serve under my administration, I haven't gotten that far, and all I can tell you is that I want the most qualified people with great experience and who are focused on making sure New Hampshire remains the best place to live and raise a family.
All right, Senator, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Scott Spradling to talk about some political headlines that flew under the radar this last week. Stay with us.